بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي وكفى والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده أما بعد. Dear listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the 10th session of the reading of Irshad al-Muluk. In the last session we covered Tawheed al-Matlab, which we described and explained, and we're still on the second chapter regarding the conditions of a sheikh and what the sheikh should be like. But prior to actually getting to the conditions of the sheikh, the author here has some nasiha that he wants to convey to the listeners, to the reader, and so we're going to continue with this nasiha inshallah. So the section after Tawheed al-Matlab is Char Baate Wusul Illah Ki Rukun Hai, that there are four principles, four issues that are the principles of reaching Allah Almighty. इसीलिए सूफिया ने फरमाया है कि चार बातें वसूल अल्लाह के रुकन हैं, that there are four things that are the principles of reaching Allah Almighty. The first is deen haq mein ibrat. What this means is, the first is deen haq mein ibrat. What this means is कि दीनदारों की अच्छी हालत देख कर हिस्स करे, that by seeing the people who are religious, one develops and entertains some sort of eagerness to follow in their footsteps, और बददीनों की रद्दी हालत पर मुतअस्सफ होकर अपने हाल का शुक्रगुजार हो, and seeing the people who are irreligious and their poor condition, to show remorse, express remorse over that, and to do shukr over one's own condition. So to be eager to follow in the footsteps of the pious, and to be remorseful, and to do over those who are irreligious, and to do shukr upon one's own condition. That's the first. The second is, so the first is deen haq mein ibrat, to take heed and take a lesson or take some sort of message from the true religion, and that's what it means. Number two, mukashafat wa tajalliyat ke mushahidon ke waqt ali hauslagi. The second is that when something is to be revealed to you, like a kashf or tajalliyat, some sort of light, then at that point to have great hopes. What this means is कि अगर सफ़ाए क़ल्ब और ज़िक्र और शुगल के असर से माज़ी या मुस्तक़बिल के वाक़यात या बईद मकाम के हालत मुकशफ़ होने लगे, that if through the purity of one's heart and through the effort of zikr and the shughl, the actions of tasawwuf, some kashf was to occur. So something in the future, something that passed was to be revealed to you through some sort of kashf. या हालात और कैफियत के दर्जे में मुख्तलिफ नूरानी सूरतें नज़र आने लगे, or it may be the case that you might see something illuminated, some nurani surat, something illuminated because of the spiritual experiences which at times can happen. तो उनको मकसूद न समझ बैठे, then do not consider these things that are contrary to the actual occurrence, the reality, to be the purpose. और कम हिम्मत बनकर यही अपने तलब को ख़त्म न कर दे, and do not be one of those people who have very shallow hopes, in that one considers this to be the aim and that's it, he stops here at this point. बल्कि रिदाए हक़ और रसूल क़ुर्ब ज़ात का मतलूब हकीकी समझे और आगे बढ़ने पर बदस्तूर हिम्मत बांधे रहे. But rather one should consider one's purpose to be the pleasure of Allah Almighty, and to reach Him and to draw proximity to Allah Almighty, and to move forward with hope, with courage, as one has been doing before. So this is a really important point. Sometimes what happens is that when a person does mujahada, does mujahada in the path of Allah Almighty, then he starts involving himself in some of the dhikr and the ashghal, things might start appearing to him. He might see things. He might see dreams. Even in the state of wakefulness, he might see something. Or he experiences things, then these are just this is not the purpose. The purpose is to connect to Allah Almighty. So one shouldn't stop there at that point and be entertained by these frivolities, but rather one should move forward, ignore them, and move forward and keep one's eyes set on the purpose, which is the acquisition of the proximity and the love of Allah Almighty. So himmat ki hifazat. That the third is to protect and safeguard one's courage. What this means is that talab maqsood mein himmat na hare, that in acquiring the purpose one should not lose courage. Aur wusul mein der lagne ki wajah se ukta kar kaam kabhi na chore. And because there's because of the time it takes to reach Allah Almighty, then one shouldn't become fed up and stop practicing the ashghal. It happens sometimes. The path of Allah and the path to reach Allah Almighty, the purification of the heart, and then the wasul ilallah ta'ala is a lengthy journey. For some people it can be short, some people it can take longer. So on this point, what the Shaykh is saying is that if it takes a long time, then don't lose courage, don't lose hope, but carry on. Stick to the job that the task that you've presented upon yourself, and carry on as best as possible. Chaharum Sheikh ka ihtiram wa biradran tariqat par shafqat. Have complete and utter respect of the Sheikh, ihtiram, and also have compassion for your fellow travelers on the path. जिसका मतलब ये है, and the meaning of this is कि बड़ों की तौकीर करे, that honor and respect those great older than you or who are greater than you, और छोटों पर मेहरबानी तरहम, and have mercy, compassion, kindness with those who are equals with you or lesser than you. और ये बातें कामिल ईमान वालों ही को नसीब होती है. And these few things can only be acquired by those people who are perfect in iman. Naqisot ka naseeb nahi hoti, and they are not acquired by those who are deficient. So these are four principles of reaching Allah Almighty. Number one, taking heed, looking at the situation of those that are on a good footing in tasawwuf, and having some eagerness to follow them. And then those people who aren't doing so well, the religious, then having remorse for them, and also at the same time doing shukr on one's own condition. Number two, if any kashf etc. were to appear to a person, then don't think that's your purpose, but stay focused on your purpose, which is connecting to Allah Almighty. Third, have courage and have hope and desire, and protect it all the way to reaching Allah Almighty. Don't just stop along the way. And number four, respecting the Shaykh and also one's contemporaries, having some raham, shafqat, kindness, gentleness and softness for those people who are also traversing the path. So that's some nasiyat that they've mentioned here. Mazid nasahe, some more nasiyat. मुरीद को चाहिए कि सादिक हो, यानी ज़ाहिर व बातिन व खलवत व जलवत में खुदा ताला के साथ मामला दुरुस्त सके. Says that the murid should be such a person, he should be a truthful person, murid sadiq, in that on the exterior and also internally, in public and not in public, he should ensure that his situation, his condition with Allah is correct. हर हाल में हक़ का तलबगार रहे. He should be seeking Allah Almighty at all times. Badan, his body, akal, his mind, nafs, his spirit, sir, his internal qalb, his heart, ruh, his spirit, sab mein ikhlas ki shan ho. There should be sincerity in all of this. Ke sare harakat sakanat, in all his actions and inactions, or tamam afal wa aqwal, in his actions and his speech, khuda ta'ala hi ke liye ho, that this should only be for Allah Almighty. Pas un dono sharto yani sidq ko ikhlas ke hasil ho jane par qaweed umeed hai ke marifat usul hasil ho. Hence, if these two things were to be acquired, yani sidq, truthfulness, ikhlas, sincerity, then there's a high probability and a high hope that a person will reach marifat. चुनांचे हज़रत अबू दरदा रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु रिवायत करते हैं. Therefore, Sayyiduna Abu Darda रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु, he narrates कि जनाब रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के हक़ ताला ने जनाब रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने के हक़ ताला फरमाता है, that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that Allah Almighty said, man talabani faqad wajadani wa man talaba ghayri falam yajidni, that the person who seeks me, indeed he has found me, and a person who seeks anything aside from me, then he won't find me. इसी हदीस की वजह से तालिबों आशिकों को बहुत कुछ उम्मीद बन गई है. It's because of this hadith that those seeking Allah Almighty and the lovers have many hopes. क्योंकि हक़ ताला ने तलब को अपनी ज़ात पाक की तरफ मंसूर फरमाया है. Because Allah Almighty has attributed seeking him to his self. जिससे पता चलता है from which you can be understood कि वसूल ज़ात मुतवक्के है, that it's hoped and it's probable that one can reach Allah Almighty. अलबत्ता अखलाक और सिद्क और पुख्ता व कामिल इरादा होना शर्त है. However, in order to reach Allah, what's necessary is akhlaq, etiquettes, sidq, truthfulness, sincerity to reach Allah Almighty, or pukhta wa kamil irada, and an intention that's perfect and strong and solid. चुनांचे सूफिया किराम रहीमुल्लाह ताला ने फरमाया है, therefore the Sufis, may Allah have mercy upon them, have said कि तौहीद कामिल ये है, that perfect tawheed, monotheism, is this, that बजुज़ खुदा के न किसी का जिक्र करे, that aside from Allah one does not mention anyone aside from Allah, न बजुज़ उसके दूसरे का इल्म हो, and he should be of a condition that he's just completely focused on Allah, he has no knowledge of anything, न समझ हो, he doesn't have any understanding of anything, और न उसके सिवा किसी को महबूब समझे, and he should not consider anyone to be his beloved apart from him, और खुदा ताला की महब्बत इसकी ज़ात पाक के वास्ते हो, and the love of Allah Almighty is only for His self, for Allah Almighty Himself. Yani na jannat ki tama ho. The person seeking Allah Almighty isn't seeking Allah Almighty that he may get Jannah, na dozak ke khawf or the fear of Jahannam, बल्कि इस वजह से हो कि उसकी ज़ात खुद ही महबूब बनने की मुस्तहिक है. But it should be love in itself, that Allah Almighty's being His self is what's beloved, and that's the aim. और ये जो हक़ ताला ने फरमाया है कि मुमिनीन की शान ये है कि वो रहमत इलाही की उम्मीद रखते और अज़ाब से डरते रहते हैं, तो ये आम मुसलमानों की हालत बयान फरमाई है. And then he says, and that which Allah Almighty has mentioned about the believers, that they have hope in the mercy of Allah Almighty and they fear the adhab of Allah Almighty, then that's the condition of the general Muslims themselves. कि क्या तुमने कुरान मजीद में देखा नहीं? Because Allah, and then the author writes that, have you not read in the Quran कि खवास की हालत इस तरह बयान की गई, that the elite have been mentioned in this way, that वो पैगाम हाय खुदावंदी मखलूक को पहुँचाते और खुदा ताला से डरते हैं और बजुज़ उसके किसी चीज़ से भी हिरासा नहीं होते. That they convey the message of Allah Almighty to the creation, and they give warnings about Allah Almighty, और बजुज़ उसके किसी चीज़ से भी हिरासा नहीं होते, and aside from Him they are not fearful of anything else. नीज़ इरशाद फरमाया है कि वो खुदा ताला को दोस्त रखते हैं, that they keep Allah Almighty as a friend, और खुदा ताला उनको दोस्त रखता है, and Allah Almighty also considers him to be a friend. नीज़ रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने इस तरह दुआ मांगी है. In addition to this, the Prophet सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम has also supplicated, Ya Allah, मैं तुझसे तेरी पनाह चाहता हूँ, I seek your refuge from you. और ऐसी मिसालें कुरान मजीद और hadith में बकसरत है, and the examples of this is found in the Quran Majid and the hadith in plentiful, जिनसे सूफिया का मतलब बखूबी साबित होता है, from which the meaning of the Sufis can be understood themselves, कि दोज़ख और जन्नत ही तमा की चीज़ नहीं, that Jahannam and Jannat is not any saving oneself from Jahannam and trying to acquire Jannat is not what it should be acquired, बल्कि ज़ात हक़ ताला शानों की मुस्तहिक है. But it's the love of Allah Almighty, the essence of Allah Almighty is what's needed. कि फ़ी हद्दि ذات महबूब हो, in that He Himself, Allah Almighty, is what's beloved. और इसी से दराजा है, and from Him should be warned. This is a very important principle that, a lot of the Sufis themselves, their aim and goal should be acquiring the love of Allah Almighty, acquiring Allah Almighty. And Jannat is there, Jahannam is there, and yes, it does mention inside some of the texts that Jannat and Jahannam should be sought after, we should seek refuge from Jahannam, absolutely. But that's the condition of the general Muslims. But the elite Muslims, the Sufis, the ones who are close to Allah Almighty, for them the acquisition is the essence and the being of Allah Almighty, to become close and become a friend of Allah Almighty, and that is the purpose, and that's what's being conveyed here in this passage. Carrying on, नीज़ मुरीद को यकीन के साथ ये जानना चाहिए, the murid should also understand कि शेख की रूह किसी ख़ास जगह में मुक़य्यद महदूद नहीं है, बस मुरीद जहाँ भी होगा, खा करीब हो या बाइद, तो वो शेख के जिस्म से दूर है. You should also understand that the spirituality of the sheikh is not limited to a certain place, but wherever the murid is, close or far, then the sheikh isn't far away. लेकिन उसकी रूहानियत से दूर नहीं, okay, जिस्म से दूर है. He might be free from the body, but he's maybe at a distance from the body physically, but the spirituality and the fuyud of the sheikh, he's not at distance from it. जब इस मज़मून को पुख्तगी से जान रहेगा, when one understands this firmly, और हर वक्त शेख को याद रखेगा, and a person the murid, he remembers his sheikhs, तो रब्त क़ल्ब पैदा हो जाएगी. Then he'll have some sort of affinity from the heart, connection to Allah, to his sheikh, और हर दम इस्तिफ़ादा होता रहा, and he will continue getting faith and benefit from the sheikh. और मुरीद को जब किसी वाक़या के खोलने में शेख की हाजत पेश आए, and if it so happens that a murid needs his sheikh for something, then he might then the sheikh could then something can come in his heart that inspires him, and this could be considered to be an inspiration through the hukam of Allah Almighty that's come which via the sheikh. और ज़रूर शेख की रूह बिइज़्न खुदावंदी उसके इल्का कर देगी, अलबत्ता रब्त ताम शर्त है. However, for this to happen, for a person to benefit from the sheikh spiritually from his face, रब्त ताम शर्त, the condition is that there is a complete connection. और शेख के कल्ब से रब्त ही के सबब उसके कल्ब में गोयाई पैदा होगी. And it's only through this complete connection that one's heart is going to be inspired, और हक़ ताला की तरफ रास्ता खुल जाएगा, and one will find a path to Allah Almighty, और हक़ ताला उसको मुल्हिम बना देगा, and Allah Almighty will make the sheikh someone who inspires this person, जिसको शरीयत में मुहद्दिस कहते हैं, which is also known within शरीयत as the मुहद्दिस, कि हक़ ताला उसके कल्ब में अम्र हक़ इल्का फरमा दे और काम का हुस्न अंजाम इस तरह दिल में पड़ जाए गोया कोई कहने वाला कह गया और उसने कानों से सुनकर समझ लिया. In that Allah Almighty will inspire in his heart something positive, and the positive outcome will be inspired in his heart, and it'll be as if somebody has told him and he's heard from his own ears. चुनांचे हज़रत सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया है, therefore Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam also mentioned कि गुज़िश्ता उम्मतों में मुहद्दिस हुए हैं, that in the previous ummats there have been individuals known as the muhaddith, not the muhaddith as in the narrators of hadith, but people who've been inspired. अगर इस उम्मत में कोई मुहद्दिस है तो उमर रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु है. If there is a मुहद्दिस in this ummah, then it's उमर रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु. उसका मतलब यही है कि हज़रत उमर रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु के कल्ब को सवर आलम सल्लल्लाहु ताला अलैहि वसल्लम के कल्ब मुनव्वर के साथ कमाल रब पैदा हो जाने की वजह से ताला की तरफ से इल्हाम और अम्र हक़ का इल्का होता था. The meaning of this is that Sayyidina Umar रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु's heart was connected perfectly connected to the heart of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to an extent that it was enlightened, to the extent that he would be inspired by Allah Almighty to say things that would be completely truthful. और यही वजह है कि उनकी राय के मुवाफिक बारहा वही नाज़िल हुए. And it's because of this, and the examples are very many throughout the corpus of hadith, there are many examples in which Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu said something, and later on wahi was revealed that was supporting exactly what Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu had suggested. वो ऐसे वाक़यात जिनमें उनकी राय ने मुवाफ़क़त की है 18 से ज़्यादा मरवी है, and there's something like 18 to 20 over 18 examples in which his opinion was supported later on by a revelation. So I mean, this particular passage here is talking about having one's connection to one's sheikh, a spiritual connection, and the sheikh has to be a kamil sheikh as well. And when this happens, then one's able to gain fuyuth from the sheikh. But also, if the sheikh is a perfect sheikh and he's someone very connected to Allah Almighty, and then it could also be that via Allah Almighty may sometimes at times of need inspire the murid via the Shaykh, and this passage actually explains some of this. It's a bit difficult to explain in English, especially for the novice, but people who have traversed the path probably can relate to much of this. And if something's slightly unclear here, then I would also suggest that listeners connect to their own sheikh, or if they're not bait to a sheikh, then find a sheikh and get bait to him, and then traverse the path, and things like this will then be explained slightly fuller as time progresses, inshallah. That brings me to the end of today's reading. Jazakallah khair for listening. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdik, la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.